Welcome to another explosive edition of Ranting Politics Headline Updates. I'm JOC, and today we're diving into some absolutely wild developments that are shaking up the global political landscape. Coming up, we've got a stunning diplomatic breakthrough in Riyadh as the US and Russia actually agree on something for once, working towards ending the Ukraine war. But wait, there's more. We'll get into some jaw-dropping claims about the JFK assassination that are making waves on Capitol Hill, and a heated exchange over free speech that's got everyone talking. Stay tuned as we unpack all of this and more in the next few minutes. Trust me, you won't want to miss a single detail of today's stories. In a stunning development from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, the United States, and Russia have agreed to work towards ending the war in Ukraine, marking the most significant diplomatic breakthrough since the conflict began nearly 3 years ago. According to AP News, Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov emerged from talks with a three-point plan that has left many observers both hopeful and skeptical. The two powers have agreed to restore staffing at their respective embassies in Washington and Moscow, create a high-level team to support Ukraine peace talks, and explore closer economic cooperation. It's a remarkable shift in U.S. foreign policy under President Trump, who appears determined to thaw the frozen relations between the two nations. Rubio, speaking after the talks, suggested that ending the war in Ukraine could unlock incredible opportunities for U.S.-Russian partnership on issues of common interest. Lavrov echoed these sentiments, noting that the American side has started to better understand Russia's position. The meeting, which included U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, was described as positive, upbeat, and constructive. However, the elephant in the room was Ukraine's absence from these talks. No Ukrainian officials were present at this potentially pivotal meeting, raising serious questions about the future direction of peace negotiations. The talks are reportedly paving the way for a summit between Trump and Putin, though no date has been set yet. The meeting took place at Saudi Arabia's Diriyah Palace, highlighting Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's growing role as a diplomatic power broker on the world stage. Meanwhile, as diplomats talk peace in Riyadh, Russian forces continued their relentless drone attacks on Ukrainian territory, serving as a stark reminder of the ongoing reality on the ground. The exclusion of Ukraine from these high-stakes talks has sent shockwaves through Kyiv and European capitals. President Zelensky didn't mince words, declaring that Ukraine would not accept any outcome from negotiations where they weren't present at the table. In a clear sign of protest, he postponed his planned visit to Saudi Arabia, rescheduling it for March 10th. European allies are raising alarm bells about being pushed to the sidelines. France's President Macron quickly called an emergency meeting of European Union countries and the United Kingdom to address these concerns. In a conversation with both Trump and Zelensky, Macron emphasized that any lasting peace must include strong and credible security guarantees for Ukraine. The situation has become even more complex with recent statements from U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, who dropped a diplomatic bombshell by suggesting that NATO membership for Ukraine is unrealistic. He went further, hinting that Kyiv might need to abandon hopes of reclaiming all its territory from Russia, precisely the concessions that Putin has been demanding since the war began. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz added fuel to the fire, stating that there will have to be discussions about territory and security guarantees. This stark departure from previous U.S. policy positions has left many Ukrainian officials and European leaders wondering if they're watching their worst fears unfold, a potential deal being brokered over their heads. In a stunning development that sent ripples through Washington, Representative Anna Paulina Luna has dropped a bombshell about the JFK assassination, declaring her belief that there were two shooters involved in that fateful day in Dallas. This explosive claim came as she announced the creation of a new congressional task force aimed at unveiling some of the government's most closely guarded secrets. The Florida Republican isn't stopping at the Kennedy assassination. Her ambitious initiative, launched alongside House Oversight Chairman James Comer, will dive deep into a treasure trove of classified documents. We're talking about files related to Jeffrey Epstein, UFO sightings, and even the assassinations of Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert F. Kennedy. The timing couldn't be more interesting, as the FBI has just unearthed 2,400 new documents that could reshape our understanding of JFK's death. These files might include information about a mysterious CIA spy chief who had connections to Cuban exiles, a group that Lee Harvey Oswald reportedly tried to infiltrate just weeks before the assassination. Luna promises that her investigation will be more comprehensive than anything we've seen before, with access to previously unavailable information. The task force's first hearing, scheduled for March, could include testimony from medical personnel who were present in the operating room where JFK passed away. The Congresswoman has already hit the ground running, sending letters to newly appointed Attorney General Pam Bondi and various government agencies, demanding the release of documents that could finally shed light on these decades-old mysteries. As reported by the Daily Mail, this initiative follows President Trump's recent executive order requiring the full release of the JFK files. Moving on to a heated media clash that's making waves, we've got quite the exchange between CBS's Margaret Brennan and Secretary of State Marco Rubio over Vice President J.D. Vance's controversial European tour. The sparks really started flying on Face the Nation when Brennan pressed Rubio about Vance's recent meetings with leaders of Alternative for Germany, a far-right political group. Things got particularly spicy when Brennan suggested that Vance's comments about censorship being Europe's biggest threat were tone-deaf, given that he made them while standing on German soil. She pointedly reminded viewers that this was a country where, in her words, free speech was once weaponized to conduct genocide. Rubio wasn't having any of it. He fired back, firmly disagreeing with Brennan's characterization. In his view, it wasn't free speech that led to genocide. It was an authoritarian Nazi regime driven by hatred of Jews and minorities. The exchange has since sparked a fierce debate about historical interpretation and diplomatic sensitivity. Vance himself later jumped into the fray on social media, calling it a crazy exchange and questioning whether the media really believes the Holocaust was caused by free speech. As reported by Yahoo News, this confrontation has highlighted the growing tensions between media interpretations of historical context and political messaging on the international stage. And that wraps up today's whirlwind tour through the headlines, folks. What a day it's been. From groundbreaking US-Russia talks in Saudi Arabia to explosive revelations about the JFK assassination and that fiery exchange over free speech in Germany. Each story showing us just how quickly the political landscape can shift. These developments will undoubtedly continue to unfold, and we'll be right here to break it all down for you. If you want to stay ahead of the curve and catch all our latest updates, make sure to follow us on X at RantingRP, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and visit us at rantingpolitics.com. This has been JOC with Ranting Politics Headline Updates. Until next time, keep questioning, keep thinking, and most importantly, keep ranting.